Okay.
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 Okay. 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 Okay.
Hi, Nicole.
Wow, you seem excited to see me.
Yeah, welcome back to the podcast, Nicole. I'm so glad you're coming back to my podcast.
Thanks. Thanks for being a guest on my podcast today, Jake.
Yeah, thank you for being a guest on my podcast today.
This is so
Because
cool.
my podcast is I saw your tweet, and then your podcast is Are you okay?
Oh, okay. All right, I see.
Nicole, first of all, happy Valentine's Day on Sunday. Sunday as in last Sunday, as in...
I realize that we're late now.
Honestly, yeah, when we came up with this idea, it didn't really register with me that we would be 2 days late to
Right.
the party.
Damn.
So that's a little disappointing.
Well, then, happy late Valentine's Day then.
Happy late Valentine's Day. I hope, you know what, hey, did you have fun
You know what?
for your Valentine's Day?
I had so much fun. I had a lot of fun. I can definitely say that. Like, my Valentine's Day was... Who am I kidding? When we're recording this, it's literally days before Valentine's Day. So, unfortunately... No.
I'm recording my part on Tuesday morning, and you're recording your part, what, Thursday, like last Thursday afternoon? That's how this works.
Yes, that's usually how our podcast syncs up.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a time zone thing. But yeah, go ahead.
Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. I don't...
Well, while Nicole does this weird thing, I'm going to say right now, today we're going to give you guys some relationship advice because you asked for it. You didn't ask for it, but we're going to give it to you. One thing I do want to say is that this is just like a little disclaimer. We may not be giving the absolute best advice ever. And so if things really don't work out for you or they work out for you in a bad way, please don't blame us. Thank you.
Great. So, yes, we're giving relationship advice today because I am so skilled in the relationship department and it makes me really sad to see Jake be so unskilled.
I hate you.
So uneducated and,
little amateur.
Yeah, and it really is hard to work with someone like that. So I decided to not only help you guys out today, but as also Jake because he really needs it. And I would love to do some charity work today.
You are such a good person.
Thank you.
It's insane.
It is tax season.
It's like you got Botox and then decided to be a better person.
It is tax season, so I decided to do a little bit more charity work because my accountant said that it would be good.
All big tax write-off.
Yeah. So
makes sense.
Yeah, so it makes me...
Or is this because you were arrested and you need to do your community service?
Unfortunately, it was because I was arrested, so...
Yeah. Oh, the FBI, they caught you from your little...
Lush thing?
Lush escapade. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So this is my charity work for stealing bath bombs at a young age, and now I'm trying to recover from that and work through that by just helping Jake out through... being such a loser. No, I'm totally joking. I'm kidding.
Okay. Nicole, wait, before we get into all that.
How was your week,
Jake?
Jake?
It's important. Oh my gosh. Nicole, I actually really didn't think that you were going to ask that.
I didn't think I was either. I just felt like it would be good for the bit.
It just came to your head?
Yeah. I was like,
That's really cool.
Fine, I'll ask him. How's your week, Jake?
My week. Well, we are recording this like a day earlier than we normally do, so I haven't really gone through a lot of my week. Also, I've done both of my days off of work this week already because of my schedule change. Nobody cares about this. But it's actually going really well. As many people are aware, I stream on Twitch, and it's actually been like super fun to stream. I have two very cool fans who I actually enjoy talking to on there. And yeah, it's really nice. And I am almost halfway to affiliate, which is really exciting. And that's like kind of a goal of mine.
That's a big deal.
So yeah. So I need like 50 followers. And I'm at like 19. So I'm almost to halfway. So that's really cool.
Shout out your Twitch so that people can go follow.
My Twitch is Thatcher Jake, but it's not a huge deal. I'm actually very content with my 2 followers, so.
Oh, so no more are allowed inside the club.
Yeah, actually no more. You can go follow, but please don't show up.
Actually, please don't talk to me. No, that's very exciting. I've been.
Oh, sorry, I didn't ask.
Oh, my bad. I'm gonna say it anyway.
Nicole, how was your week?
My week, it was fine. I don't remember anything of it, to be completely honest with you. I don't remember. We're recording this like 2 days earlier than we did last week, so only like 5 days have gone by, and there's only so much that can happen in 5 days, you know what I mean?
That's really true.
And
Have 5 days gone by? I think it's been 6.
No, we recorded on
Friday.
We recorded on Saturday last time.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, because
Whose fault was that?
Because I had a breakdown on Friday.
That's right. Mm-hmm. I do remember now.
So, no. I
just wanted to hear you say it.
Okay,
anyway.
whatever. I've been doing good. I got sent flowers in the mail today, which I already talked about like 100 times today, and so that was just like very exciting for me. I also got like a shit ton of packages today after like the entire mail being backed up for such a long time because of the snow and everything. And so I just feel like a better, happier person. I feel like I'm getting my personality back because I'm getting packages in the mail again. Like I got Clementine's cone for her getting spayed this Sunday, and that was the highlight of my entire day. I was like, I love getting a little package.
Is like one of the greatest things that happen.
I agree.
To anyone.
I agree.
Yeah.
Literally, it was stuff for other people. Like it wasn't even for me, but it was so exciting to open the box. Like my mom got a pierogi maker, so it's like a little like folder, like it's like a little metal thing where you can like squeeze the pierogi together. Like you can do it by hand, and we've always done it by hand, but she suddenly was like, I want a little pierogi maker. And that's
so cool.
I know the joy that was in my eyes, and she was like, I don't really care that much, but I was like, I care so much. This is so exciting. I love opening a package. So
Aww.
I know.
Wait, but a pierogi maker, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. It's like,
can you make sweet potato pierogies? Are those a thing?
I'm sure you could, but I don't know if you would call it a pierogi then. I mean, I guess. I don't know.
I feel like you can put a lot of crap in a pierogi and it'd still be called a pierogi.
You can, but that's like being like, oh, if I put, well, yeah, I guess you can make anything a taco. Like whatever you put in a taco shell, that makes it a taco.
Oh my gosh. You've been watching iCarly, right? He puts spaghetti in a taco shell and calls it a spaghetti taco.
Okay, so I wasn't even aware that iCarly was added to Netflix. I just had the house.
Neither was I. When you told me, I was so excited.
Yeah, I just like turned on Netflix because I had the house to myself yesterday morning, which is very rare. And so I don't sit, like, does anybody else relate to this? That they don't sit in their living room when their parents are home? Like, I personally do not.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I am actually right in my bed.
Yes.
The whole time. Or I sit at my desk, but my desk is super uncomfortable, so it's most likely I'm laying in my bed.
Yes. If people come home, I'm leaving. Like, I am going into my bedroom. And I turn off the TV because I'm embarrassed.
That is so funny because, like, anytime I'm in my kitchen, like, I will literally fully be eating, like, soup or something really hard to, like, carry with me. And I'll be, like, watching my TV show. If I see a car pull into the driveway, I, like, pack it up. I'm, like, lifting my soup, holding my laptop in the other hand. Like, I run up to my room.
Yes.
Before they open the door so that they don't know that I was down there, so they can't say anything, like, where are you going?
Exactly, yes. And so I don't watch TV, and whenever I do watch TV, my parents are always like, this sucks. Can we change it to the like Polish channel? And I'm like, oh my God. So I don't even waste my time. And I think I would just be so embarrassed the fact that I was watching iCarly. Not like embarrassed or anything, but like ever since moving back home, I've strangely been embarrassed around my mom, like to do like things that I was never embarrassed to do before. You know what I mean? Like when you're little, you're never embarrassed around your parents, like no matter what you do.
Yeah, I think, that is true. Like when you sit on the side of the toilet. I'm always going to have those like references to our last podcast.
You know what? A lot of people did message me after that, and they were like, I love that part when you were like getting so excited about you sitting on the side of the toilet. Anyway.
I told my mom about it because I thought it was so funny, and
now
she
I'm
like absolutely did not understand what was happening.
Now I'm embarrassed. I didn't even tell my mom.
Mom, you have to listen to her say, sit on the side. It is like the funniest thing I've ever heard.
I didn't even tell my mom about like the embarrassing thing. Like she always asks, she goes, what did you and Jake talk about today? And I'm like, just talking. And then she's like, yeah, but what though? And so I was like, this time it was about childhood stories. And she's like, what stories did you tell? And I was like, nothing. It was just all Jake's stories because I'm too embarrassed to be like, remember that time I ate meat? Remember that time that I was like, sit on the side of the toilet? Do you remember that time that I called you into the bathroom and I was like, am I normal? So, yes, but I decided to watch iCarly in the living room yesterday, and I sat down and watched like 5 or 6 episodes all in a row. First of all, they're so easy to watch because they're like, 23 minutes? That's a YouTube video. That's literally my YouTube video length. Watch iCarly, and then I felt violently ill, but anyway, highly recommend watching iCarly on Netflix. It helped me. Although I did get really violently ill afterwards, and I had to lay in bed and I cried, and I had to like sit through a meeting, and it was like an important meeting. It was like super important business stuff. And I'm like sitting there like holding my head up, trying not to vomit. And I didn't.
That's very on brand.
Yes. Yeah. So, and everyone was like, "Are you okay, Nicole?" And I was like, "Mm-hmm." And then immediately as soon as it was done, I went and laid down. So either iCarly made me violently ill or it was soothing me. I can't tell which one.
What day was this?
Yesterday, Wednesday, every single time that something bad happens to me.
Did I like call you at all? Did I call you yesterday?
You did at night, and I declined you initially, as per usual.
Oh, and then yes. Now I remember. I remember every time Nicole has declined one of my calls. So basically, like, I remember all of May, June, July, August, September.
I used to always decline your calls. It's not because I didn't want to talk to you. It's because I didn't want to talk to anyone.
It's true. I was like, "Hey, Nicole, hope you're..." I would leave her voicemails, too. I'd be like, "Hey, Nicole, remember me?
I still have all of them.
Remember me?" It's like that girl from TikTok. She's like, Cheryl, remember me? Yeah, Cheryl. Remember when you ate my pudding cups?
Are you talking about the same person who goes, "Candace, you ready?"
No.
Oh.
This girl has like blonde hair, super short, and people have been taking videos. And it's like, play this in front of your mom. And it's like,
oh, yes.
Hey, girly.
Yes, I do.
It's my favorite TikTok of all time. And the duets on it are hilarious. All the moms are scared out of their minds. Because they're like, only people who have a mom named Cheryl can do it.
I can't relate. My mom has a unique name. I feel like both of us are just like swimming through jello right now. Like I feel like we're both very mellow and peaceful right now, and I don't feel like it's very on brand for us.
Well, wait, but like we can't like be giving people like relationship advice and be like,
Jake, I feel like we should give relationship advice because I think that's what everyone's dying to hear.
Right now, we're only 20 minutes into the podcast.
We have a lot of questions, Jake.
Oh my gosh. Okay, fine.
What? Did you have something more to say? Do you have anything more of interest to say?
Well, did you want to add anything to the disclaimer?
Yeah, guys, here's a big fat disclaimer. I'm a professional, Jake isn't.
Do you give disclaimers on your other videos?
If I feel like it's...
Like when you're like, DM me your crushes, and I promise you 100% that there will be a relationship.
I try not to give disclaimers as much anymore because I feel like it's not... I don't know. I just feel like disclaimers can take away from things sometimes. And also, I'm trying to learn that if someone takes something the wrong way when I know my intentions are not bad, then that isn't always my fault. You know what I mean? Like, I can't always be giving a disclaimer for every single thing I do because there are people on the internet who would want me to disclaim what? What?
This is just meant. It's just meant to be funny, Nicole.
Oh,
a disclaimer for this. It's just meant to be funny.
I thought we were having a conversation. I thought we were having a conversation.
No, I like it. I love that. I love that you don't like to give disclaimers, but like giving a disclaimer saying like this might not work out is like supposed to be stupid.
Well, I was actually explaining it. Your tone was not in a way that I could understand. That
I'm sorry, Nicole.
Disclaimer, guys. Sometimes we will fight and argue on this podcast.
Disclaimer, guys. This is Frenemies.
Yeah.
2.0.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I would feel really guilty that I was listening to Frenemies, especially when it came out. I would feel so guilty and awful and like a bad person that I found it entertaining, that I was really hoping that people couldn't see on Spotify like what I was listening to. But then I found out that people can't hear like what kind of podcast episodes that you're listening to, so that made me feel a lot better.
Oh, really? I can see live what people are listening to on
but
the
not
desktop
podcasts.
version of Spotify.
But not podcasts.
Really?
Really.
We're going to try it after this podcast. We'll see. All right, Nicole, let's get into it.
I didn't give a disclaimer.
Okay, go ahead. Give your just little.
Okay,
like,
guys, disclaimer that
You know what? When it comes to relationship advice, I just want you all to know that whatever we are recommending you to do or our experiences, I want you all to know that Jake doesn't have knowledge to give any of us. And I have so much. And I don't want you guys to take away anything from this podcast that is from Jake. And that's just the truth. And so I really, you guys also understand what I'm saying is what you should follow, voice, voice, right, what will lead you down a path of happiness and success. And what Jake will say will probably lead you down a road of sorrow and loneliness. So please everything I said very soul. You see, you know what? Me, I'm so still knowledgeable on everything that's about relationships. So if you have any other questions or advice, feel free to I'm always welcoming people to come and reach to them. I'll listen to advice on their entire lives. I can give you financial advice. I will be your financial advisor. Maybe even like I really do. I'll help you with anything. So just whatever I say is always in 100% honest truth. What you have to say is pretty very logical. So that's just here. And I hope that you love advice.
Jake, any thoughts?
Nicole is wise, and she will absolutely lead you down a path of amazing choices,
Happiness and success.
Mm-hmm, yeah. All right, Nicole, put the gun down. It's like that TikTok. Oh my gosh, one of my favorite TikTokers ever. Gosh, I don't know what his name
God,
is.
this entire podcast should be named I Saw This One TikTok. Are you okay?
I saw this one TikTok, but I can't remember who made it.
And no one knows what I'm talking about except us.
Yeah, but he goes, what a great day to drink Bang Energy. I said what you wanted me to. Now release my mother.
Bang.
Have you ever seen it?
Yes, because, well, I haven't seen that, but Bang Energy is always sponsoring people. Have you seen like the one like where it's like Alex Warren, the guy who's like the David Dobrik like copycat, and he's like, here's my night routine as a YouTuber, and then he's like holding a Bang Energy, like literally doing the most basic of tasks, and like no one realizes, everyone realizes that it's an ad, but they never disclose that it's an ad.
It's like the coldest water.
Yes. Oh yeah, I remember when the coldest water reached out to me.
Which they're like water bottle like whistles.
They're like, we'll pay you $20 for like 5 videos. So
Ew. Mm-hmm. Yo, people will accept anything.
I don't even think it's that. I think that the companies like to take advantage of people who don't know any better.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah.
Like y'all, you're worth more than $20, okay? I'm worth more than $20 for 5 videos. My TikTok,
I don't know.
I have 9 followers. My TikTok is worth more than $20.
I feel really sad because sometimes I'll see your TikToks and they will be funny, but I only like to like TikToks so that I want to save them and look back at them. But I see your TikToks and I'm like, oh, it has 0 likes. I should like it. But I don't want to.
That's the rudest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I don't want to go back to it. I don't want to see
Nicole will
it.
actually comment like, ha 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 on my TikTok, and I'll be like, but no, I'm so confused. She'll be like rolling on the floor, I'm dead, cackling, you're so funny, LOL, LOL. And I'm like, but no like?
Okay, and I do.
She will never like my TikToks.
I feel bad for that, but like I think it's just like an unconscious
Nicole,
thing
I
I
don't care.
do.
TikTok is
Listen,
stupid.
I only like TikToks that I want to go back to. I will not give anyone a random like. I need to be able, it's like a little archive for me. And I don't want to see you when I'm archiving.
That's fine. What I'm going to say is that TikTok, I treat it as a joke because it is. I mean, TikTok is like it's an app full of jokes, which is really fun, right? And that's what makes it fun.
It has
Not
to be
like
funny.
the people, but like it's a funny.
Yeah, but
it's like a funny app,
it's
right?
unfortunate that
I will
yours
say
aren't
Instagram,
funny.
Twitter, all of them should. YouTube should adopt TikTok's algorithm because TikTok's algorithm is top tier.
It won't.
Does that make sense?
It won't work. It won't.
Okay, maybe
happen.
not for you. Maybe not for you because something's happening with your little TikTok. And that you're 20-year-old woman living in whatever or 29-year-old woman living in whatever with a dog. And like,
it's getting better.
Like, and iced coffee and like
Emily who lives in the financial district with a Boston Terrier and goes by the saying, "It's wine o'clock somewhere."
Yes, your alter ego, Emily, enthusiastic. Yes.
Instead of Nicki
But-
Nasty.
Yeah, that was it. Emily and do you get it?
Yes, I got it. See, this is what's unfortunate.
Emily clean.
This is why
Period.
this is why your TikToks are not getting likes, because here's the thing. You have to be funny. You have some funny TikToks. Everybody actually go check out Jake's TikToks because the last one that you did was actually very funny.
No, my TikToks are so stupid. I like my one where it's about me and you at Later Hose, and I let you use my employee discount in the line.
Yes.
And but like we like paid together and you gave me your card, and it's like the sound, and she's like Brenda, no, I'm not doing this. I've got this or whatever. No, it's really funny. How much? Yeah.
Essentially, for anyone who doesn't know, one time I went and drove to Later Hose so that I can use Jake's employee discount. And in the checkout line, like, I didn't want the cashier to know that he was using his discount, so I like slid him
No,
the card.
I didn't want that. So like because it was like I could get in trouble.
You didn't. This is just a bit. You didn't actually do it.
Anyway, Nicole. So let's get to the relationship advice. Would you like to if anybody's unaware, we did a little questionnaire. What do we call that?
Basically, for anyone who doesn't know, I asked you guys on the Instagrams to make sure that you follow it so that you can participate in things like this in the future. But it's at Talk Nasty Podcast, where I asked you guys to ask for some relationship advice because for Valentine's Day, we wanted to give you something a little bit special. I know this might be a little bit hard for you all because you're listening to this on Tuesday, and this is a few days after Valentine's Day. I know it might be very hard to listen more about relationships, but you're going to have to. And we're going to give some fresh ass advice because, like I said, I'm an expert, Jake isn't. But we've gathered some of your guys' hot questions and need for advice, and we're going to answer them. Jake and I each chose one, not like just one, but we're going to go one by little questions that we each
back and
chose.
forth.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
also, Nicole, isn't it perfect that just in time for everybody to start forgetting about Valentine's Day and how sad they are that they're single, we are swooping in to remind them that they're single 2 days later.
Yeah.
Again, you're welcome.
I'm not going to lie. I personally don't, like everyone who's like, I hate Valentine's Day. Like this is such like a shitty holiday and everything. I just keep reminding, like I've never felt that even when I didn't have like when I wasn't in a relationship. But I just try and remember like it's literally just a holiday that was made in order to make some money. And like, if you want to celebrate, you want to celebrate it. If you don't, you don't. Like, I get my family stuff, like, for Valentine's Day. My mom is literally sending a card to her mom. Like, it's just, it doesn't have to be this whole
it's cute.
hoopla.
It's love is so many things. It's not just, like, like, significant others and stuff. It's, like, your
basically,
family
what
and
Jake and I are
friends.
trying to say is that Jake and I are together. I know that a lot of you have been.
Okay, so I mean, Nicole, it's actually important that we address this. Nicole and I are in a very committed relationship. We're actually engaged, and we've hidden it for so long.
Yes. I remember there was a few weeks ago when I announced something. I think it was a few months ago. I posted something on YouTube, and I think it was like my big surprise or something. And a lot of people thought that I was getting engaged to my boyfriend, Adam, which is not true. He is a cover up. I was actually getting engaged to Jake. So it's true. The rumors are true.
Yeah. So thank you. Now that we have that out of the way, let's get to telling people about their love life.
Is your brain okay?
It's really un-okay. I think I'm broken. Nicole, go ahead.
Okay, so obviously both of us can answer these questions, but like I said, I'm extremely skilled and knowledgeable. Jake isn't. So this question asks, not relationship, but how do you get over a breakup, like toxic relationships and letting go? So I feel like a lot of people were actually asking this question about getting over breakups, how to let go of things, which
I told you is like a lot of people are breaking up right now. Like, so I literally said this to her yesterday. I said, because a lot of people I know who are in long relationships are realizing that they're in unhealthy relationships.
Okay.
And breaking up.
Yeah, I think it's also quarantine getting to people. Like, you know how in the beginning of quarantine, like a lot of people broke up. Like a lot of people who lived together and stuff. Yes.
I'm obsessed with the fact that we're not going to answer any of these questions and we're just going to talk about whatever we want after that. Anyway, go ahead. Moving on.
So I have had the relationships that I've been in the past, I've only ever been in like one serious longer relationship prior to the one that I'm in currently, which we've been together for 3.5 years, I think. Yeah.
Nicole, we've been together for 4.5 years.
Oh, right. You're right. Sorry, my bad. So,
yeah. She's always so forgetful like that.
Yeah,
but that's why I love her. Go ahead.
So I found it really, really hard to get over my first breakup, especially because it was longer term. I mean, the little relationships that I've had in the past, which were quite literally like one was a week long and the other one was a day long, that was not hard for me to get through. I've also never been, this isn't me to be like bragging or anything, but I've never been broken up with. I've always done the breaking up. So it's always come from a place of like, I don't know. I felt like I was a lot in control, but it still makes you sad, obviously. I think it honestly gets dependent on the relationship, but like this person said that it's a toxic relationship, which that's what my last relationship was. And so breaking up from that. And I remember crying to my mom and being like, how long is this gonna last? Like me being in pain. And my mom was like maybe like 2. And I was like, 2 months? and my mom goes, like maybe 2 days. And I was like, that is not true. I was like, that is not true, Mom. But to be honest, like that first like slump of really, really, really being sad, it really did take a day or two when it was a toxic relationship and I understood like I was letting go of something that I needed to let go of. And I realized that I was way better off within those 2 days. Now, actually, like getting over it and coming out from the other side and being happier, that obviously took a longer time. Like it didn't take 2 days. I had to work through that for actually a very long time. But I think keeping yourself busy is what's most important, or picking up a hobby. I know this might sound ridiculous, but like my hobby at the time was doing massive research on Prince. And he just died and I was like super into him, but like I would go home and I would like even study him, and just like I found a lot of other artists from the 80s that I loved, and I decided to do a lot more of that before I was like either too nervous to, or my boyfriend didn't allow me to do, and just like doing things that actually made me happy.
Oh man,
I took like
that is a toxic relationship.
Oh yeah, it was very bad. But like I took a trip to DC. I decided to go to prom, even though I was a junior. I like snuck into the seniors' prom and hung out with my friends. I had like the best summer of my life. I just spent a lot of time trying to keep my mind off of things, and also like having a supportive friend group. I don't know, that really, really helped me, because I never had time to basically sit around and mope and be like, oh my God, because I just did everything I wanted to do that would make me much happier, and realize that my life was way better off without him. So I'm not saying it'll last 2 days or 2 weeks or 2 months, but I think you'll be surprised how fast you'll get over something like the initial slump, until you realize that you're way better off, at least in my experience. Jake?
Yeah. No, that's actually really interesting. I feel like a lot of what you're feeling, person who asked this question, can you actually repeat the question? Because I kind of forget what it was.
Not relationship, but how do you get over a breakup, like toxic relationships and letting go?
Yeah, I think like a lot of what you're holding on to or a lot of what is like causing you pain is not necessarily like the person or the relationship, but rather like the change that you're going through, and the fact that like something that you're so used to, which was like going, because you get used to a lot of things. Like as humans, we get used to a lot of things that are not necessarily very good for us. Like people who smoke, it's like when you smoke for the first time, you're coughing all over the place, and then eventually your lungs are just like good with it. And it's the same thing with toxic relationships, and then, you even, oh wow, I guess like the smoking analogy works really well, because like when you try to quit smoking or quit your toxic relationship, it's not like that your body is like missing the nicotine. It's that your body's getting used to the change, So like all those feelings that you're feeling, just know that they're not for the relationship. They're for like the lack of relationship, essentially, like the change that your life is about to go through. And you're probably more likely scared of that change than wanting to go back to your toxic relationship. It's a lot like we just get confused. Our brains confuse our emotions for certain things, and sometimes, in my opinion, at least. I don't know. What do you think about that, Nicole?
That's probably the most serious that we're ever going to get on this podcast. Additionally, no, that's completely true.
Are you like surprised with my answer?
Yes, I was like, wow.
You're like, dang, how did he come up with
Maybe
that?
Jake
I'm
might
actually
be
reading
educated.
it online.
Oh, okay. He actually
Yeah.
Googled it. No, I agree. I think like we oftentimes like will romanticize the past and think that it was better than what it actually was. And so like while you're like, wow, maybe I shouldn't have broken up with this person, or thinking about the good things, if the bad is outweighing the good, then that's an obvious answer. If you're making a pros and cons list about this person, that's an obvious answer. You shouldn't be with them. And I think once you're in this relationship and you finally get out of it and you realize how bad it was, like basically try and nurture future you rather than setting future you up for failure. And so just try and remember that your decision is to help you in the future and your future relationships and your future experiences and everything. It's not going to be that shitty feeling forever, because it is helping. It's like loving yourself, but into the future, and you'll thank your past self. So yeah, I think those are my final thoughts on that.
Agreed. Good job. Okay, next question. This comes from a viewer out of somewhere in the world. I feel like I'm trying to be like newspapers when they do that. They're like, this question comes from. Okay, anyway.
What's that one thing? I think it might be Cher. Sorry. What's that one thing? It's Cher. It goes, now from the town that I'm currently in. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I don't know what it's from, but I know
either.
the sound. I don't know if it's Cher either.
I don't either.
This question is how to genuinely be a happy single person. How to find security in self. Nicole's like angry at me because I did not read this question to her when we went through our questions.
Oh,
when
I don't
we
care.
were going through our questions and what we were going to say.
It's really fine.
Well, I figured I wanted to start it off with a serious one. Don't worry, guys. The rest of mine are funny questions. Anyway.
Don't even put that. Don't tell people that they're funny ones in the future, because then people will actually hope that they're funny. And then when they realize that you're not that funny, they're going to be disappointed.
Oh my gosh, whatever. So, person who asked this question, as a person who has been single a full 21 years of their 21-year life, let me tell you, there's no being happy. I'm kidding. This is really interesting because I think that this is an issue that a lot of people go through and that they don't want to really admit that they go through, is that we really rely on like another person to kind of, everybody's goal in life. Everybody has like these goals in life, and like one of them is always in like a relationship category because you want to like be a part of something, you want to be attached to something, you want to have kind of like a purpose. And I'm saying that that's great, but I think that to really be in a good relationship and to be in a healthy relationship, you need to find exactly what this person is looking for. Does that make sense? I
agree. I think, but yours is talking about like the focus on like how do you feel happy with just yourself, right?
Yes. So finding security in self. Yeah, Nicole, like how would you, what's your advice for this?
Oh.
Expert.
Okay. All right, from an expert. I've been in a relationship for a while now. However, since we're in a long distance relationship.
I wonder how many times you're going to say that in this podcast and rub it in.
So just to remind everyone that I've been
in a long relationship. No. Like it's long. It's been a while.
I never saw that as always like bragging. Like I don't know if it's just like me who I am as a person, but I never got sad about when I was single and I saw other people in relationships, because maybe I just don't personally crave that when I am single. I don't know. But what I'm trying to say is that since him and I are in a long distance relationship, all of our time, majority of the year is spent alone. And especially in the last year, we've barely seen each other. So a lot of my time is spent completely alone, which I really appreciate, because I wanted like these formative years of my life and in college to be really just like about learning about who I want to be and growing into myself as a person, and not constantly like with someone at my hip. Yes. And so while I still had this, boyfriend who was far away, I never felt like that was getting in the way of who I was as a human being or progressing. So I spent a lot of time alone, and I just learned to really like myself, enjoy my company, find hobbies that I like to do. I'm just a type of person who I never get bored when I'm by myself. I really enjoy spending time by myself. And I think that's really important to learn how to do. For everyone, it's a little bit different. I personally do better when I'm on my own rather than with people. And while I do get like fulfilled and happy with being around friends or around family and stuff, there's no one that really knows you like you know yourself. But like I said, that takes quite a while to learn how to do and be comfortable with yourself doing. So I would say try and actually spend more time alone. If you're trying to like get to a point where you're comfortable being single, get to a point where you like every aspect about yourself, whether that's like physically, mentally, you like the way that you do things. Like, for example, I love the hobbies that I have. Like, I think I'm good at certain things, and I really admire myself for that. And I don't rely on confirmation from anyone else. I used to be a person who always wanted validation from others, and I would always ask for other people's opinions on things, and I don't do that.
Now you only want validation from me.
Yes, now everything that I
Yeah.
do is, Jake, what do you think about this?
Exactly.
I used to I had a very, very hard time. There's still some things that I lack in, and I have a hard time like being okay with myself with. Like, for example, I have a very
What?
No. I know.
You lack? That's ridiculous.
It's shocking.
Nicole,
I know.
I'm editing that out of the podcast. Nobody can know that.
No, like, for example, I have like severe money guilt issues. So I will always
Yes.
ask for people's like approval to buy something, which is something that I'm learning not to do anymore. But before, I used to always ask people's approval about what I was wearing, how I was doing things, like major life decisions, like things like that. But I'm learning slowly to stray away from that. And I think once you get to a point where you trust yourself, and you don't rely on other people's opinions, I think you'll enjoy being alone a lot better and not really feel like you need to be in a relationship, because that's how I feel about my relationship now, is that I don't need to be in it, but I want to be in it. And I think that's a whole lot better. And so I don't like rely on him as like, I'm not dependent on him. He's in my life because I want him to be.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of like what I was saying, which is like a lot of people like definitely feel a need to be in a relationship,
Yes.
like, and are always like looking to fulfill their, check the boxes
Yeah.
of what life needs to be. And as a person who has like literally spent so much time trying to like find himself and like independently, like, I mean, I took a whole trip to France like completely alone. I do most things in my life completely alone because it takes such a long time to like recognize who you are without the influence of other people. And I think that that's probably something like pick up a hobby that you've like always wanted to do but been too embarrassed to do. Kind of thing. Like, Nicole started her freaking YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Which was something, it takes a lot of courage to do that. We started this podcast, which takes even more courage to do. But like doing something that you see as taboo, but like maybe that you've always wanted to do, and like doing it without with reckless abandon, and that, I think that really helps to find yourself and find your interest. And if you don't end up liking it, then whatever, throw it away. But I think it really helps you to like solidify who you are when you're doing things that you have asked nobody else about. You don't care about the opinions of other people on it. And things that you can do independently will really help you kind of find your own self-worth and figure out who you are, because I think that's really important before you even start like relationships. Like, I mean, a relationship is doomed to fail if people are insecure in it,
Yeah, definitely. So your relationships will be a lot better in the future once you like yourself and once your partner likes themselves and you're both secure in yourself. So do you and your future relationship a favor and just get comfortable and happy being who you are and alone.
Agreed.
That's
Yeah.
that.
All right. That is that. Solid answer. You're welcome.
Amazing.
I assume they said thank you to us. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Nicole.
Okay.
What is your next one?
I guess this isn't advice, but someone asked, ever feel weird about being in a long-term relationship so young? I'm assuming that this is referring to you, Jake.
To you, yeah.
Yeah.
And to put it in short, yes.
It's so weird.
Next question. No, I mean, yeah, Nicole, that's actually an interesting question for you, because you and Adam, when did you guys start? You
We
said
started
you dated
dating
for 3.5 years.
Yeah, August of 2017. So I guess
So you were 18 years old almost.
yeah, I was literally 17 when I started
Wait,
dating
you were
him.
17?
I was 17 when I started dating
Wait,
him.
when's Adam's birthday?
June.
Oh, you were dating an 18-year-old as a 17-year-old?
I was.
You
a baddie.
arrest him.
I know.
No.
No. I mean, we've been together for what, 3.5 years. I don't feel
You literally already said that.
Oh,
don't act like you
my
don't
bad.
know. We
Sorry.
just said it about 5 minutes
So
ago.
sorry.
Podcast. I don't know if you remember.
No, I don't feel weird about it, to be honest.
Time flies when you're in love. Anyway, go ahead.
I don't feel weird about it whatsoever because I think a lot of people have like these expectations of us like, oh, well, you've been together for this long. That means that you guys are moving in together, right? That means that you guys are doing this together, right? Like everything is expected for us to be doing everything together and being together because we've been together for a while. And I think one of the strengths of our relationship is that we pretty much started off as long distance. Obviously, the goal is to be together, like physically and not, apart the entire year. However, we do so good when we are apart. But I don't feel weird about being in a long-term relationship so young because I am 21. I think I definitely did feel weird about it at some points in college just because a lot of my friends were single. Most of my friends were single and starting looking up dates on Tinder and, started going to parties or hooking up with people. And I've never had that experience of doing that lifestyle. And so sometimes I question myself, am I missing out? But in turn, I think I really thought about it for a long time. I don't think I'm really missing out on that because that's just not what I want in my life. And if I did want that in my life of, having the typical college experience and hooking up with people and going on Tinder dates, then I would have done that. Then I wouldn't have chose to be in a long distance relationship. So I don't really feel like I am, I don't feel weird about it, to be honest. And I don't think that if anyone else is in a longer term relationship, I don't think that they should feel weird about it either.
Yeah,
we're just going to the
it's actually admirable.
Oh, thanks.
As a young person to be in a long-term relationship. It's so young people are so flaky and fleety, and to show any type of commitment is really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, no,
especially nowadays. Nowadays it's so easy to break up with people.
No, it is. Agreed. Yeah, and
people overthink things all the time,
Yes. So I don't really think I don't know. I don't think about it as much as this question makes me realize oh my God, I don't really think about it that often. You know what I mean? I don't even know if I would consider 3.5 years that long because it feels we started dating at the beginning of college. And then we're going to be at the end of what would have been the end of our college semester or whatever. But time flies when you're just having fun.
Oh, I was going to say so in love. Anyway, yeah, good answer, Nicole. Okay, here's my next question. How to keep seeing an ex's pet without seeing the ex? This is a really interesting question and something that I've pondered a lot since we started this podcast, Nicole. Mm-hmm. Nothing? No, no reaction?
This
to
is
that?
your question.
No, you didn't have a reaction to what I just said?
Oh.
How? Because I'm how am I going to see Clementine without seeing
Oh, is that
Nicole,
what you're trying to say?
Yeah, anyway.
Oh.
This is a really good question, and I think this brings up, a lot of, sub-questions, so I'd like to answer this question in a few... I'm just kidding. A few points. A thesis. My thesis statement. In this essay, I will. No, this is a really good question, because... it is really hard. In a breakup scenario, the hardest part is often having to say and have that conversation with a pet and say, I'm sorry, we're never going to see. I'm sorry. We're never going to see each other again. No, obviously there's only one real answer to this, which is kidnap the pet.
I agree.
Yeah. Next question.
I honestly, if I...
No, have you had that experience where you
yeah.
have a SO with a...
No, what I was going to say was when my ex-boyfriend, he had, I think, 2 cats. And when my ex and I broke up, I did think about that. And I was like, damn, I'm really going to miss these cats. And I feel really bad for saying this, but I don't even remember the cats' names. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
I
So are you saying that you're going to forget about all the pets that once mattered to you?
No, that's not what I'm saying. But sometimes it's okay to let go of something like that. While those cats and I had a special relationship, I think everything else got blocked out once him and I broke up, and I no longer needed any relationship with those cats any longer. They're in good hands, and, I'm sure they're being greatly taken care of, and I don't need to worry about that personally.
Good for you.
Thank you.
That's really big of you, Nicole. Some of us aren't actually as strong. So For those of us who are like me, steal the pet, kidnap them.
Or kidnap them.
It's your pet now.
That's a good
Yeah.
option, too.
It wants to be with you a little more anyway.
Right.
So,
Agreed.
yeah. Cool. Nicole, what's your next question?
Okay, someone
Our
said...
next question from a viewer.
Someone asked, dating with intent or dating for fun? I think there's this like big thing, especially, I think it's more, especially around like the religious community. That's kind of like,
Yes.
if you're not dating,
They date for marriage.
if you're not dating for marriage, then you're dating for a heartbreak. And that's fine if you think like that. But I think what's important is that you date someone that has the exact same mindset and don't get angry at them. If they don't have that mindset, just don't date them. So I see a lot of people, like I've seen TikToks about people being like, you can just date to just date. You don't have to put the pressure of marriage on it. You can just literally date to have fun if you like someone. You don't have to think about what's going on years from now in the future. And then there are people who are angry in the comments and they're like, no, you're dating for heartbreak. And they're like angry with these people. I'm like, then just don't date people like that. Find out what people's intentions are from the very beginning. But if someone is dating just because they want to date for fun, they're not thinking, long term, what is the plan or anything. And I think your goal should be to find someone with that like-minded thinking. If you are a person who wants to date for marriage, then you need to find someone with like-minded thinking. I don't think you can get angry at either parties for thinking the opposite way. Just don't date people like that. It's the same thing as people who are like, I want to live in a city when I grow up. And then another person's like, well, I hate the city. I want
to live on the countryside.
Right. Then if you care about where that person wants to live in the future, just don't date. Maybe that's like not as serious of a thing to think about, but like,
well, that's like something that you talk about down the line.
Right. Of course.
And it's like, that's like something that you can compromise on.
Right. What's a better example?
Like, this is here. Like political views. Like don't like. It's like date people who, unless like you're really crazy, but you want to date people who are like-minded.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Like if you're if you like have opinions on certain things, like Black Lives Matter and like abortion or something, obviously you're gonna want to be with somebody who agrees with you.
Right. Yeah. You don't want to be dating someone who has the opposite thinking and then get shocked when they think that way. And you're like, oh, who is this person? Because like you should know what kind of situation you're getting to a certain extent. Like for example, my boyfriend and I are very different, like in different things. Like we don't have the same hobbies. We're not the same like personality type. We're very different people. However, when it comes to like our worldview,
mindset.
Morals, mindset, like we're all like on the same page about that kind of thing. So that's the same kind of thing. If it's like you're dating for marriage, then you should date someone else who is dating for marriage. So I think it's whatever you want to do. And if just find someone who aligns with what you want to, and don't get butthurt when someone else has something else.
Exactly.
Yes.
You need to be upfront about
Exactly.
stuff like that. Exactly. All right. This next question. How do you tell someone you like them without telling them you like them?
This is a TikTok.
Yeah. So this is a really good question. And I don't even want your answer, Nicole, because my answer is correct. Just tell them you like them. Stop playing games. Nobody likes somebody who plays games, period. And also, as somebody who has talked to people who has like friends who play games, it is absolutely the most annoying thing for them to talk about the games that they're playing with people.
Yes. It's so annoying.
So don't play games with people. Be direct. That is like my best advice. Be direct with people.
You're
like,
always a very direct person. Like when you like someone, you always tell them.
Be direct with people. Come on.
Yes.
Like it's 2021. We're like going to pass away.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, no, it's 2021, y'all. Grow up.
You can't expect people to read your mind and then get upset when they're not picking up what you're putting down. That's what I did
Nicole
with my...
puts on a lot of things, and
Yeah.
it's hard to pick all of them up.
It's true.
Yeah.
But that's what I did with my current boyfriend. I was very upfront and straightforward, and it worked out, and he was not...
And you know what? Direct doesn't mean that it can't be, like, fun and, like,
Oh,
fresh,
yeah, of
you know what I
course.
mean? Because Nicole, like, what, Nicole? What were your first words to Adam?
My first words
Bend
ever...
and Snapchat?
Yes, that was my first words. No, I literally was the person to be like, so we're dating now, right? Like, this is us dating. Like, we're consistently
Yeah.
going out on dates. Like, this is us dating. Like, I want to know what we're doing before we both go off to college. And he's like, yeah, we're dating. And I was not intending on going off to college, not understanding like what either of us were doing. And I was flat out honest with him. And I was like, I'm not talking to anyone else. I'm not seeing anyone else. I'm not going out and starting a relationship with anyone else. Like, I just want you to know that I'm only talking in the talking stage with you.
And he was like, ooh.
He's like, oh, damn, time to drop all my hoes. Yeah. So I think that's the kind of mentality that you need to go in with. And games are for
Kids.
Yeah. Games are for kids.
Like tricks. Yeah. Anyway.
No, I agree. Someone said, how does one get into a relationship? I'm 21 years old and I've never had a boyfriend.
Okay, here I'm gonna give you some.
Are you gonna
advice.
jump in?
I am. Oh wait, why did you want to say something?
No, I have no advice to give. I just, you know me. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Here's what I'm gonna say: put yourself in situations where that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go. Because so much of what I do is like, I do so much stuff independently that I never like put yourself into a situation or into like social settings, basically. Obviously with the pandemic it's really hard, but like if you are into film, join like something that has to do with that so you can find somebody who's interested in what you are in and then like fall in love. It's like a just give yourself like the chance to actually meet somebody and don't like hobble yourself in a hole all the time like I do. Where I'm like, oh my gosh, I love making my podcast with my friends, and then I never like tell anybody about it, or like go talk to people who make podcasts or something like that. That is not something that I would do. I'm not very passionate about podcasts.
Wow. Ouch.
This is really fun. I love this podcast, but it's not like something that I would like go like join a club for or something. You know, it's
okay.
like, oh, I like to swim. Why don't you go join the swim team?
Yes. No, I was gonna
so you
say,
can meet the boys on the swim team.
God, this podcast is really turning into all like us mentioning TikToks all the time. But I saw this one girl. She basically was really against dating apps. Like, she just really was like, I don't want to be a part of dating apps anymore. I don't like it. I don't like what they're all about and stuff. It's just not for me anymore. I want to meet people in real life. That's not for everyone, but that's what this girl wanted to do. And so she would purposely, every single time that she would go out, she would like put on an outfit that she really liked and she would like talk about what she was going to do that day. So she like sat in a cafe and then she decided that there was this really cute guy. So then she like left a note on his windshield. Or like she will go to Whole Foods and she like went up to the cashier and quite literally said, "Are you single?" Like, she will just do these things. And while they are very upfront,
and
it's
direct.
like putting her into situations. Yes, exactly. And like, I don't know if she's had success with it yet. I'm going to check in on her, but it's really interesting because it's become fun for her where she's just gained this confidence that she can just go up to people who she finds attractive and then be like, "Hey, I think you're really cute. Like, do you want to get coffee sometime?" And so I think putting yourself quite literally into these situations if you want to be in a relationship. However, we do want to emphasize that like being 21 years old and never having a boyfriend is not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
No.
Not at all. Yeah.
No. And I think like
Trust me.
being whatever age you are and not being in a relationship is not a bad thing whatsoever. I think it's actually really fun and cool. This is me being like, I wish I was single. No, I think like being in your young 20s, like that just opens you up for so many opportunities. I know that it can seem like I have a few friends as well, like who have never been in a relationship at 21. But to be honest, like they are so independent and able to do everything by themselves. And I think that's a whole lot better than consistently being in a bunch of shitty relationships growing up all throughout high school, college, whatever. It's a whole lot better and a whole lot less stress to just quite literally not have been in a relationship yet, rather than putting yourself through all that pain
Agreed.
with relationships who were not, intentional or happy. So honestly,
and go back to like question 1, which we got, like, find happiness in yourself. And
yes.
Then I'm sure people will come to you, like love will find a way.
Agreed. So if you want to go find someone, go out and put yourself in those situations, but also remind yourself that it's actually quite fun to be able to be in that position where
single,
that you're just doing whatever the hell you want to do.
Yeah, because how much do you really want to meet the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with and never have those experiences? I'm just kidding. I feel like that's some, like, plot of a movie is like, but do I want to get married? I'll never live a single life again. So they, like, go do whatever, like, do all, like, the single stuff that they wanted to and then get married or something. Cool. Anything else to add
No.
on that? Great. My next question. Best time frame in a relationship to fart in front of the other person? Nicole?
I don't remember like when it was. However,
Oh my gosh. Confirmed. Nicole farts.
I know it's really hard to believe, but you know,
That is
as
crazy.
a girl who talks about IBS quite a lot, it's kind of shocking.
Oh, it's believable now. I understand.
Exactly. No, I think it's appropriate whenever you both find it appropriate because, you know, one day you're going to have to let it slip. I didn't understand why I was having severe stomach aches around my boyfriend until I
you were
realized
literally holding your farts.
I was one entire, like, I was a meat suit.
You were a
it
big
with
fart.
gas just trapped inside of a
You were like one of those
meat
beached
suit.
whales
Yes, quite literally.
that die and fill up with gas and then explode.
All of my bloat that I had was entirely me holding in my farts. And I feel sorry for younger me. If a guy, I knew it was like a guy friend who broke up with I'm not very close with him anymore, just to clarify, but I knew a guy friend who broke up with his girlfriend who they were together for a while because she would fart around him as if that's not a bodily function. And this guy is not the most like hygienic people.
Was it?
Bleep that out.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Was it actually?
Yeah. Okay, bleep it out.
No.
But
I will. Obviously, I'm gonna bleep it out. This is full anonymity.
but why?
It was Kaylee. Anyway, go ahead.
Not even the most like hygienic of people, and like the most like well-kept person ever, and a fart, something that everyone has to do and it's normal. How are you going to get angry at someone who has to do that? I say there's a time and place for it. You know, don't go out tootin' and bootin' all the time out in public or, you know, in front of his mommy or anything. But if you gotta go, you gotta go.
Go fart, everybody. Fart whenever you want. Okay? If they can't accept your farts, whenever you think the best time to fart is, that is when the best time to fart is. Because if they can't accept your farts at that stage, then the relationship isn't right.
Yeah,
because
probably.
Clearly you two have different mindsets.
Exactly. It's always going to be embarrassing the first time, but once it comes out and there's nothing that you can do. My boyfriend is very supportive of me because he knows that I'm in a lot of pain and he's like, I hope that you feel better.
Next question, Nicole.
Next question is, should I get back with my ex? We ended up as friends and there were no problems between us. Sad face. I like to always remember that if you broke up with someone, you broke up for a reason. So try not to forget that. It's very easy to forget that because you're like in this like whole weird forgiveness. But you're in this like whole forgiveness stage and everything. I remember when I broke up with my ex and after a period of time, I was like, was it really that bad? Like, was it even like, was I just making this all up? And because I hadn't been in that relationship for a while, also not realizing how bad it truly was. And, you know, giving that person like any sort of sense of like, oh, I forgive you. Very unnecessary. So I think it depends on your situation, but a lot of times if they were your ex, keep it like that because you guys ended for a reason and there are so many other people to meet. And just because there's no problems between you guys does not mean that that's like a reason to get back together. Like Jake and I don't have any problems with each other. That doesn't mean that we're going to date.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I would just say like, I agree with you, Nicole, but people do, it depends like how like old is the previous relationship because like people grow up.
Yeah.
There's like a thing there. I don't know. I know a person who got back with their ex like 3 times in a row and now they're in a very happy relationship with their ex that they've broken up with 3 times in a row. And what I'm going to say is like there's a chance that it could turn out good and that you know, there are other influences that make a relationship go poorly and can lead to a breakup. And I think sometimes they're like the people that the person is around may not be the best influence on them. And so that makes the relationship really hard to deal with, right? Like, you don't like their friends. If things change in a person and if that specific thing that annoyed you about the relationship or that made the relationship go poorly changes, then I would say, like, go for it if you really felt like that was one of, like, the only things holding you back in the relationship, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense. There's exceptions.
It's all about growing up.
Yeah, there's exceptions for everything, but I think that you also need to sometimes remember, like, just because you guys are on good terms does not mean that you guys are right for each other, like, romantically. I mean, that's up to you to decide, but just because you guys are friends and it ended well, sometimes it might be best to keep it that way, and it might be good not to just go back to something just because it's comfortable and because you guys are okay. So I think you need to sit down and really think, is this a romantic relationship I want to be back in, or is this just something comfortable that I want to revert back to?
Agreed. Cool. Next question. What should I get my BF for Valentine's? Some raw meat or some carpet cleaner? And person, I have one thing to say to you. The answer is carpet cleaner, because
did you put on your story?
Yeah, I did. Did you see that? You voted on it, Nicole.
I did see it on your story.
Yeah, it's 50-58, so I'm winning.
Interesting.
Carpet cleaner is the way to go. Nobody wants to eat raw meat.
We're vegan on here. You don't eat meat. I don't eat meat.
Exactly. So, sorry.
Carpet cleaner seems like a good gift.
Also, like, boys are notoriously, like, smelly. Some men are smelly.
So he could use some good old carpet cleaner.
Yeah.
Just spray him down with some good old carpet cleaner.
That's a useful gift. Raw meat. What? You want him to just, like...
Oh, yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I think that's it.
Well, I don't know. Raw meat could be used for... You know what? How about you get him carpet cleaner? He gets you some raw meat. Winky face.
That is disgusting.
Go ahead, Nicole.
What do you do when you...
Wait, okay, this is our last...
Okay, yeah, this is our last set. Okay, what do you do when you love someone but you want to break up? Well, as the saying goes, when you love something or someone, you gotta let them go.
Let it go.
Is that the saying? Yes.
Yeah, let it go. And if it doesn't come back to you, it was never yours.
Right. And so I don't think it's a bad thing. I think that's a very good and healthy place to leave a relationship. I know it must be a whole lot easier to leave a relationship when you hate that person and when you're really just, like, at each other's throat, and it must be so much harder to break up when you guys are both, you know, still loving each other. But I think if you love this person, you should want what is best for them. And if you want to break up with them, that's probably not very good for them. Like, you don't want to be in a relationship with someone who doesn't want to even be with you. So I say do your significant other a favor and end that shit, because I think you'll feel a lot better and they'll feel a lot better long term that they're not with someone who doesn't want to be with them. And that's not a bad, like, I'm not saying like that to make the person seem like a bad person. Like, I think what you're doing is a very good decision, and the fact that you're even thinking about this is very good, because there are so many people who are in relationships who don't want to be in them and they stick around in them because it's comfortable. So the fact that you're already, you know, thinking about this is something that you should do, take it as your sign that that's what you should do. If you're thinking about it and you're asking yourself that question, it's over.
Yeah, listen to your gut.
Yes. Now, I don't recommend breaking up with them on Valentine's Day, but maybe like a day or two after. Maybe the day that you're listening to this podcast.
Why not? Valentine's Day is just an arbitrary day that doesn't matter. So,
well,
or actually, get that bag. Get that bag on Valentine's Day, and then
2 days later, the day that you're listening to this podcast.
The day that actually, right now, pick up your phone, person who asked me this question, or asked Nicole this question, or asked us this question. Pick up your phone right now. Text that person. Here's the text message you're going to send them. Wait, what was the question?
Are you breaking up with this person over text?
Yeah, I'm giving you the actual... Yeah, exactly.
Maybe let's give them a script. It says, what do you do when you love someone but you want to break up? Sad face.
Okay, Nicole, I'm going to be girl who loves someone.
Okay.
And you can be girl who loves other girl back.
Okay.
Because we're progressive here.
Okay. So two girlies in love.
Yeah. So I'm the one... Do you want to be the one to break up, or do you want me to? I have like a good script in mind.
For what? For who?
For the breakup.
Okay, then you break up with me.
Okay, cool. Hey, babe.
Hey.
I've been meaning to talk to you about something.
Oh, about how much you love me?
Voice. No.
Oh.
Well, yes, technically, yes.
Oh.
Technically speaking,
Okay.
I do love you, but it is 2 days after Valentine's Day, and I just realized on Valentine's Day that I wanted a different Valentine.
What?
That wasn't you.
Why? But you love me. Why wouldn't you want to be with me?
I'm not quite sure. I didn't include that in the question that I asked these two podcasters, but insert reason here. And I just want you to know that it's not you, it's me. And I hope that I'm Southern now. I hope that we can still be friends maybe one day if that's what I desire. I don't really know because I didn't add a lot of detail into this part of the question. But I love you and we need to break up.
If you
Is that
loved
okay?
me, then you wouldn't leave me.
Shut up and accept this breakup. All right. And that actually concludes. We wanted to role play during this one, so I'm glad.
I
hope that
always
helps.
get the term roleplay and foreplay confused.
Yes, it's just role play, not foreplay. No foreplay here. But maybe on Valentine's Day. Leave us a DM.
No, don't leave us a DM.
What was your
Actually-
foreplay scenario for Valentine's Day? Okay. We're moving on to our next question. Nicole, somebody asked me, I do 100% of the housework, but don't pay rent. Is that fair? So this isn't really a relationship question, but I would say, yeah, that sounds like a good deal. Nicole?
Yeah, someone's got to do the cooking and the cleaning. No, I'm kidding. I think that depends like on everyone's preferences on what they want. Like I know someone who is in a relationship and, you know, they are paying more of the share of the house than their partner is, but that's what works for them and their lifestyle. And if they don't see an issue with it, then that's fine because it doesn't have to be completely 50-50. I think I would say if you think that you're equally doing as much work as the other, like, you know, in exchange, I don't believe in like tally marks. Like I don't believe in relationships when someone's like, well, I did these 3 things for you. Now you owe me 3 things for me back. Like that is like an immature way of thinking. So I say, I don't think everything has to be 50-50, especially because not everyone makes the same amount of money. Some people don't work. So I think whatever works for your relationship, if it's working for you guys and you guys both see that it is fair, then screw what anyone else has to think, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, agreed. Sounds like a really serious answer to a funny question. Thank you, person who asked this question. All right, cool. We're going to end the podcast here.
Thanks so much for listening. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys want to follow us on the Instagram page, it's at Talk Nasty Podcast. You can also follow us on our social medias. It's just linked in the description of this podcast. You can also find everything on the Instagram podcast as well for all of our links to everything else. And we always like to read a review at the end, so make sure that you leave a review and 5 stars on Apple Podcasts app, because every single week we want to read at least one. So, Jake, hit it.
All right. Wait, first of all, somebody said, that's it. That's the tweet in one of these. And that should have been the name of our podcast. Like, that's it. That's the tweet. All right. Finally, a podcast I actually love. This is about, I saw your tweet, are you okay? So it's kind of offensive to Nicole's, basically like her entire first season of Talk Nasty to Me. Anyway, I saw your tweet, are you okay? Is an amazing podcast. I've been really looking for a podcast that I'm actually invested in. And this is it. Again, pretty offensive to Talk Nasty to Me, but we're not going to read into it too much. I'm kidding. I love listening to Jake and Nicole. They have great chemistry and always make me die laughing. Highly recommend. Thank you.
Cute. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So I think that's where we're going to leave it. Thank you for your wonderful reviews. There are others. So if any, we are picking pretty randomly on the reviews, so like if you want to leave one, we might get to yours. We probably won't go in order, but thank you for everybody for the awesome reviews. Bye, Nicole.